Good morning, this lovely Monday morning to you all, and it's lovely to see you. So starting our practice today, we're going to come into a comfortable seat. Now, ooh, here I sound a bit repetitive. Doesn't matter how you sit. Use a sofa if you have one nearby and you would prefer on this very hot day. Legs cross-legged, out in front of you, kneeling, cushions, bean bags, maybe not actually bean bags, that won't be very helpful probably. Whatever you want to though, really what works for your body and what works for you today, this morning. And we'll rest our hands in the lap, one palm on top of the other. And then we'll just shrug out one shoulder and draw it back. So we're setting the shoulder girdle back a little bit. We'll do that both sides. And we'll do it one more time. If your shoulders are anything like mine at the moment, you'll probably hear all sorts of nice clicky things going on within them. And then we're going to draw the shoulders up. So we're losing the neck now, shoulders towards ears. Now draw them back a little bit. You can see the difference, shoulders coming forward, shoulders coming back. Draw up, tense, breathe in and hold. Hold, hold, hold. When you're ready to breathe out, let everything go. Let the shoulders come down. Let the neck elongate. And breathing out to the end point of our out breath. Then see if there's anything else to breathe out into. See if you can extend your breath out a little bit. Okay, a couple of natural breaths. We'll do the same again with the shoulders. So we're drawing them up again. And remember, you can then draw them back a little bit. Keep squeezing into that midpoint at the back of the spine. Breathe in and hold. Draw up for your pelvic floor a little bit here as well. Kind of squeezing through the belly, lifting energy up through the spine. When you're ready to let go of all that, out breath. And everything relaxes down. And your breath relaxes. So you know there's that idea, ooh, I finished breathing out. Is there anything less for your body to breathe out, not the mind? Breathe through that limitation. And a few natural rounds of breath. And we'll do one more round. So actually to start with, we're going to lift up the right shoulder again and bring it back. And you'll do the same on the left side. And then both shoulders easing back. The in-breath. Shoulders lift up, neck vanishes. Draw in through the belly, draw up through the pelvic floor, breathe in and hold. Everything feels a bit tense, a bit compacted, a bit uncomfortable. When you're ready to let go of all that, let it go. Noting how your natural breath now arrives in the body. Almost like you've cleared out the inner space of the body. And there's just a little bit more space now to breathe into. And feeling that space on all levels, physical, emotional. And here for a few moments, we're observing our breath. Oh, John, I think you suddenly come on the screen. I don't know if you've taken yourself off mute. No, we seem fine. Just observing the breath there. Becoming curious, how does the body breathe? You're not putting any effort into it. How does it feel to consciously breathe? Becoming familiar with this, alert to your breath. Your breath holding your attention, guiding attention. And letting go of expectation, thought about where this may lead you or not. Just following each breath as it arises, as it passes. And so then each breath becomes like a bead or a drop of water. And as you start to string those moments together, those breaths together, and suddenly you have this whole long thread of awareness. Using that analogy of drops of water, and suddenly you've got a big pool of water. You know, that has the potential to open up to become an ocean of awareness. Now allowing your breath to deepen, and we'll take 1 or 2 full rounds of breath here. Flushing out the inside of the body with the breath. And with your next round of breath, eyes opening again. And with your eyes open, I'm going to stretch the legs out into a V shape. I'll just angle my camera down a little bit. And in your V shape, toes are pointing up towards the ceiling. And if you want to accentuate that line a little bit, bring your hands behind you. Fingers can just point back in towards you. Lean back on the hands. So you're opening up into the shoulders and into the chest. Now breathing up through the trunk of the body. Breathe into the chest as well as into the back of the spine. Just moving the neck a little bit from side to side. And you may want to just lift your pelvis up just a fraction, and then you can slide your legs a little bit further away from you, just to open up that angle through the spine, through the legs a little bit more. Interlace your fingers together and starting to stir a big cauldron, a big saucepan with the hands. You'll breathe out over the front of that circle and breathe in around the back. So out breath and into in breath. And a bit like when the soup goes a bit sticky and it sticks to the sides of your saucepans, looking to bring the arms around all the way to the parameters, the edges of your range of movement. Right back into your center line. Interlace your fingers the other way, that feels a bit less familiar. And we're going the opposite direction. Big out breaths over the front of the body into your in breath. And a few rounds here. Now trying to keep the backs of the thighs anchored on the mat as much as you can. So keep breathing out into the weight of the pelvis and the backs of the legs. And arriving back into the center line. And we slide the right hand down the right leg towards the right foot, and you're looking to find the inner edge of the leg towards the foot. So take a comfortable stance there. In breath, left arm will float up. Now the palms facing forward there. Your right shoulder may want to lift up towards the ear. We'll drop it down. So you've got space still for the neck to move in. You can look down towards the floor. You can look up towards the sky. You may want to do that a couple of times just to free up your neck. And then another big stretch up through that left arm. Keep breathing up into the lines of the body. Dropping the trunk down a little bit further. Let gravity be your friend here. With the next round of out breath, this left arm will come over, looking to bring it parallel with the leg. So not towards the foot at all, but stretching out through that left arm into the fingertips. And breathe out and find your way back into sitting. Just a breath, hands on the knees, rebalance the spine. You can just shake it out a little bit from side to side. And always think with that, it's almost like then you're just shaking out anything that's a little bit held in the body. And kind of feel when everything goes quite wobbly, it's quite hard to hold tension in the body. When the movement feels a bit more rigid, kind of means there's just a little bit something stuck inside us. We're just encouraging that, everything to be able to move freely. Okay, on to the other side. Left hand sliding down the left leg. And again, you're looking to find the inner edge of the left leg towards the foot. Take a comfortable position there. Let that left shoulder relax down. Just make sure the neck is free. You can move it around a little bit. And the right arm will float up. Palm again facing forward. Again, if you know that you do tend to crunch into the neck a little bit, then you can move it a little bit. Just encourage a bit more opening. And here we're taking a few breaths here. Big strong stretch this is. Lots of lines are opening through the body. Letting gravity be your friend. You can see there, my left shoulder again was rising up. Drop it down. And even though the lines are strong, almost looking to ease out the effort of doing this. So once you've found the shape in the body, then let the body do its own thing. The mind doesn't have to get too involved. Next round of breath. And the right arm will come over. Again, we're not looking to reach down towards the foot. We're looking to stretch out through that right hand. So opening out that outer edge of the body. Next round or so. And arriving back and into sitting. So now you're back in this nice central position. And this time, hands remaining on the knees. And you're just going to take a little circle, pivoting the spine on the axis of the pelvis. Almost like it's a corkscrew, the spine. We're just opening that corkscrew, rotating it. And following that analogy, then as you do these small circles, your spine's going to elongate as well, so you're creating length throughout it. A sense of space between each of the vertebrae. Take that circle round the opposite way. Make sure your toes are still pointing up towards the sky. And arriving back and into a neutral position. Just a few rounds of breath here. Lengthening up through the back of the spine. If you imagine, well, you've got the resistance of air behind the spine, so just leaning back into the space behind you. Letting your spine rest as you would rest back against a chair back. Resting, being held by the sky. We'll open the eyes again, and we're going to come around and onto all fours of the body. So into tabletop, nice neutral spine here, and to maintain, sustain that neutral spine, a little bit of lift up through the lower belly to support your core. And you can see here the shoulders again may want to creep forward, drawing them back. Looking down, lengthening out through the neck. So even here, everything can feel very engaged to keep that little lift up through the belly, to be lengthening out through the neck. Every muscle in the body is going to be working to support this. Now slowly we're drawing our tail down and in towards us. And holding the spine as it is, you'll notice that it naturally curves then. Chin will come towards your throat. And now we're going to take the pelvis away from us. And following that movement all the way along the spine and up into the neck. Starting to breathe out and taking the pelvis in towards you, tucking it under. Following the curve through the spine. You feel a strong pull of the lower belly towards the back of the spine here. Chin to throat. And then in breath. Pelvis drawing away, spine lengthens, looking up, breathing in, into your out breath, and into your in breath. And moving with your breath flow from one to the other. Again, keeping that steady gaze of attention, attentiveness to the movement, to your breath. We'll take one more round. And pausing here, belly curving up towards, spine curving up towards the ceiling, chin to throat. And looking out just from that space between the knees, out into the space behind you. We'll tuck under the toes, and with toes tucked under, we'll take the knees off the mat just a couple of inches. And so you're hovering, knees off the mat, chin tucked in. Last round of breath there.
And then breathing out, you can hinge up and back into down dog. And once you're in down dog, we bring a little bit of movement into the body. It's a little bit of cycling of legs from side to side. And from that pedaling of legs, we're going to start to walk the feet forward and up towards the hands, arriving hips width apart and in a forward fold. And bringing your hands around the backs of the legs. So they might be on the backs of the thighs, you might be able to slide them down a little bit further. And we're looking to anchor the hands somewhere there on the backs of the legs, and we'll take the elbows out to the sides. Breathe in, look forward here, lengthen out through the spine. And then out breath, folding down the length of the legs, drawing the spine down. Wobble your head a little bit here. One more round of breath. And letting go of the backs of the legs. And we'll take a big circle to come up to standing. Breathing in, arms above the head. And breathing out. Hands arriving at the heart and back into breath. Nice big in-breath. Stretch up your hands up above the spine. Above the spine, up into the sky. So your palms are facing up towards the ceiling. With your next out breath, letting your shoulders drop down a little bit. So you have a little bit of curve through the elbows there. And then breathing in, we'll lift the heels up off the mat. So now you're balanced on the balls of the feet. Can you still maintain contact between the inner edge of the feet, big toe pads, arches, heels, and up through the inner edges of your legs? One more round of breath. And with your out breath, the hands will start to circle down. And slowly your heels will come down to the mat as well. And you're feeling the whole weight of the body settling back into Tadasana. Palms standing up to the ceiling now. Deep in-breath. Arms will float up above the head. Interlacing your fingers now the opposite way to which you just did, and we'll take the palms up towards the ceiling again. Breathing in, stretching up through the spine, and then breathing out, a little bit of softening through the shoulders. Make sure your neck is free again. And then an in-breath, and we're coming up off the heels again. Again, drawing the big toe pads together, arches together, the heels together, inner edges of the legs, light lift through the belly, next in breath, and with your out breath, again letting go of the hands. They're taking a slow circle down either sides of the body. And as they do that, your heels will come down to rest. And your body's weight is relaxing back and into Tadasana. Now breathing your way, breathing a pathway through the central axis of the body from feet to crown.
And then palms turning out again. We're coming into sun salutation now. And so just taking your time here, take as many breaths as you need to. With your in-breath, we'll take a big circle up through the arms. And take your gaze up there, stretching up, breathing out, guiding your palms down the center line past the heart, and guiding the tops of the fingers down towards the earth. Now your hands can then release, and you're taking them either sides of the feet or just resting them on your legs. Breathing in, we'll lengthen out through the spine. So it's an L shape here. Keep a bit of bend for your knees there if your hamstrings feel tight. Breathe in. And then bending your knees as much as you need to bring the hands down, either sides of the feet. Root down into the hands, and we'll step back into down dog. Deep out breath in down dog. And as you know, I always like to put a little bit of bend in my knees here, just so you feel that buoyancy through the legs and that sense of strength through the legs. With the legs straight, sure you get the kind of stretch through the backs of the legs. There's a certain rigidity in this. That little bit of bounce through the legs, you can kind of feel their strength, but also you can lift up and back through your sit bones a little bit more easily there. So your spine then is hanging down. You're decompressing the spine. At the same time, you're building that strength through the legs. The heels slightly lifted. You can then bring weight down into the heels. So you're really opening up the backs of the legs as well. Next round of breath. And breathing in, we'll bring the knees down to the mat. And with the knees coming down to the mat, we're going to flatten lift the toes a little bit off the mat, plant them back down, walk the hands a little bit further forward, tuck under the toes, lift up the knees, and we're arriving into plank. Now, nice buoyant plank again here. So rather than feeling, oh gosh, how long is it? Keep the lift back into your heels, but lift up through the belly, look forward, lengthen out through the trunk of the body. Nice full breaths. We'll take one more. Knees coming down, and either just relaxing down onto the mat. You want to work the upper body a little bit more, starting to lower your chest down to the mat. And you're arriving down on the mat. Hands underneath the shoulders. Draw your elbows back towards your waist. Breathe in, lift into cobra. Out breath, toes tucking under, knees lifting, and you're arriving back and into down dog. Just your feet in if you need to here. Make sure you don't start walking the hands in. You can see if you do that, how then suddenly you squash the spine, you squash the shoulders. The hands want to be quite a way away from you here, and you can adjust feet as you need to. But keep that length through the hands. Another round of breath. We take one more together. Now breathing in, bend the knees, look forward, and breathing out, walking, stepping, even jumping the feet up towards the top of the mat, towards hands. Another L shape. Breathe in, lengthen out through the spine in your L, and breathing out, take the spine down along the length of the legs. Coming to rise, big toe pads together, heels together, start to lift up, stretching up through the trunk, gazing up, and then hands arriving back and into the heart. Taking another couple of full rounds of breath here to flush the body through with the breath. The anchoring awareness in the body. Reconnect your big toe pads together, the heels together. Feel that contact between inner edges of the legs. Become aware of your pelvis. And then the lift of your spine from the pelvis. Sense of being drawn up into the crown of the head. Deep in breath. Big circle through the arms. Stretching up, looking up. And out breath again, taking the spine down and into forward fold. Let your hands lead you. Let gravity take the spine. The hands will arrive on the legs or on the floor, either sides of the feet. And breathing in, we'll offer the spine forward again, L shape. With your out breath, folding down the length of the legs. We'll do one more L shape again, breathing in. And this time, hands coming down, root them down, and we'll step the legs back and you're arriving into down dog again. Now this time we're going to come forward into plank unless you want to drop your knees down to the mat and come into all fours, either option. And we'll take the spine forward and into plank. Keep that length along the spine. Keep rooting back into your heels. Then either dropping the knees down as we did last time and lowering the chest down, or else you may want to lower the entire spine down to the mat. Hands are underneath your shoulders. Root down the feet. Breathe in. Lift up into cobra. And out breath, arriving back and into down dog. Again, walk the feet in a little bit if you need to, but keep that length through the arms and through the spine. Now root down into your left foot and start to let your right leg float skywards up towards the ceiling. Breathe in, look forward. And use that momentum now to bring that right foot between the hands. You can just stand up here and adjust the feet. And we'll flip the back foot down so it's firmly anchored on the mat. Now, if your back knee is bending a little bit, anchor back into that back heel. Look forwards, start to lift up, lunge forward onto the front knee. So you've got a right angular shape through the front leg. Breathe in, arms floating up. Now we're stretching up through the spine here, lifting up. And at the same time, we're anchoring the weight of the body down through the legs into the feet. With your next out breath, we'll take left hand back and the right arm is coming forward. So you're riding into warrior two here. Now note if there's any tendency to lift up through the shoulders here, we'll shrug them down. Nice long necks here. And we'll take the gaze down towards the right hand, right fingertips. As you do that though, just check in with yourself. Can you feel your back heel? Press it down a little bit more fully onto the floor so you really feel anchored, glued to the floor there. Next round of breath. And we'll take the front palm turning up. As if you're carrying something quite fragile and precious here. Breathe in and lift that front palm up towards the sky. Back arm will drop down the back leg. Stretch up. And from here, stretching out to your horizon, keep your back leg anchored as you reach out with that right arm towards your horizon Now starting to straighten your front leg, the right hand will come down towards that front leg. You may be able to slide it down towards the floor then. You may have blocks or books and want to put your hand up a little bit higher to bring the earth up towards you. Doesn't matter which way, left arm will float up. Now, shoulders again. Are they drawing up towards the ears? Draw them back down. You can look down to the floor freely. You can look up to the sky. Anchoring that back leg so firmly on the floor so you feel stable. Changing your gaze. Your body is anchored regardless of where the eyes are moving. The tension doesn't have to follow the eyes. One more full round of breath. And we'll windmill that left arm down now, back down to the mat. And once it's there, framing the front foot, hands either sides, and rotating the spine so it's facing forward again. So now we're in a forward fold stretch. Again, anchor down into your back foot. And with the next round of breath, you'll root into your hands, rotate that back foot so it's parallel with the long edge of the mat, and we'll step back the right foot to join the back foot. Just feet, ease back into your down dog. Gain that little bit of bend through the knees. And we're going to come forward through a vinyasa again. So again, take your choice. Either the knees will come down at this point, and you'll drop them down and then you'll lower the chest down. Otherwise, you'll stay up in plank. Root back into your heels either way, and we'll start to all lower down to the floor, whatever version you're using. Once you've arrived on the floor, shrug your elbows back towards your waist. Breathe in, lift into cobra. And then out breath, all fours, knees lift, and back into down dog. So onto the other side here, the left leg now is going to float up skywards. Stretch it up as high as you can. And then use the momentum of swinging it through to bring the foot between the hands. You can stand up there to adjust the feet. And we'll plant the back heel down again. Now you've got glue on that back heel to keep it strong and keep that back leg active. Starting to lift up into standing. Lunge through the front knee. Gazing forward. And with the attention in the back heel, the arms floating up. Just going to move around so you can see if I can talk to you. All. Keep anchoring the back heel down. So then with your attention still on that back heel, even as you start to move the left hand forward, right arm back, you still feel very stable. And we're arriving in warrior two. The gaze is coming down the front arm. And we'll just shrug those shoulders down again. Lifting up through the spine. And the front palm turning up. The back arm comes down, sliding down the back leg. And lifting up that front palm, keep anchoring the back foot down, even as the gaze comes up. tension in the back heel. And we're starting to transition now into triangle pose, trikonasana, stretching out to the horizon. Still that strong back leg, reach out, reach out, reach out. And then that left hand starts to come to the front leg will straighten. Once it arrives, you can slide it down towards the floor or to some books, or just rest it on the shin or the calf or the thigh, doesn't matter where. And the right arm will float up. Now, shoulders again shrugging back. And that frees up the neck to be able to look up, look down. But attention is still in the back heel to anchor you. You still hold the stability through the body, regardless of where the eyes choose to look. And we'll just pause in trikonasana, a couple of breaths, gazing up. If that's too much on the neck, do look down towards the floor. And right arm is starting to windmill down and taking you into the forward fold down the front leg. So the front leg is drawing up, easing your pelvis back, and the spine can just hang down the length of the front leg. For your next round of breath, we'll take the hands over to the big toe edge of the left foot, and we're now going to walk them around, rotating the left foot so it's now perpendicular with but it's parallel with the short edge of the mat, and your hands are in the center between the feet, and you're in a wide-legged forward fold. Breathe in, look forward. Draw the pelvis back. See if you can lift your arches by putting the glue on the outer edges of both feet. Breathe in, lengthen, and then folding down. We'll take one more full round of breath in. And then lifting up a little bit, hands still on the mat, and we'll take the heels in, the toes pointing out, so the feet are on a diagonal. Anchor your heels again. Lunging down into the knees, and hands will arrive up and onto the thighs. So a nice strong stance here. Anchor your feet down, keep lifting up through the spine, dropping the shoulders. Okay, taking the spine for a swim. We'll lean over to the right leg. The weight can come over to that side. And then your spine will dip over to the other side. And you're just leaning from side to side. And letting your spine follow. Nice, slow, gentle swim. And hands coming up to the heart now. So that becomes your rudder to guide your spine from side to side. Keep your shoulders relaxed still as you move. and start to find your way up and into standing. And arriving and standing with your legs straight, we'll breathe in and we'll take the arms out to either side. Now shrugging your shoulders up towards the ears so you lose your neck, and then breathing them down, refinding your neck. Breathe in, lose the neck, and we'll hold the next in-breath into the body. Draw up through pelvic floor, draw into the belly. As we breathe out, we're going to bend the knees, shoulders coming down, and we're sinking low. Anchor your feet, feel the weight of the body in the feet. Reach out towards the right hand side. Take the spine back over and out towards the left. Just a few rounds of breath, just finding your way from side to side. Strong legs here. Tension is in the feet. Probably stirring all sorts of things up in the mind and the body. So when there is a bit of a hurricane blowing, tension remaining on the feet, roots with earth. One more. And the hands coming down. Going to shoot the hands up now, the center line, lifting up, reaching up, a nice big star shape. Keep anchoring the feet on the mat. And then out breath, palms together. And start to fold your way back down again into forward fold. And as you arrive into forward fold, we'll take the heels out now so your inner edges of the feet are parallel again. Breathe in, look forward. And breathing out, a few breaths back and forward fold. Drawing the spine down. Now start to walk your hands around from here towards one of your feet. And once you're kind of facing towards that foot, you'll rotate your back foot as well. So you'll have hands framing the front foot, and you can step back into down dog. The next round of breath in down dog, we bring both knees down into tabletop. And once you're there, drawing your pelvis back a little bit. And now your spine is going from a swim from side to side on all fours. So it's swimming up towards your hand. And once it reaches your hand, the spine's going to reverse back again. Again, swimming from side to side. Coming forwards again. And arriving back round again. And once you arrive back towards your heels, we'll take the pelvis back onto the heels, arms stretching out in front of you, and you're arriving in child. Forehead can come to the floor. You can put cushions or blocks underneath the forehead. Letting go of any effort here, letting your body relax, breath relax. So your body is creating its own pathway here now. And trusting whatever rises up without needing to change it. Next round of breath. Taking yourself up and into kneeling. And right hand coming to left knee. Left hand sliding behind you. Lift up through the spine again. And then we're taking the spine into a twist. Again, let the shoulders relax here. Head free. Pivoting on the top of the spine. Find your way to the other side, left hand to right knee, and right hand just behind you. Long spine again. And arriving back in your center line. We'll take the legs out in front now of the body. Do put some cushions or anything you might like to underneath the knees if backs of the legs feel uncomfortable. You could also lift yourself up on a cushion to give yourself a bit of height through the pelvis. Toes flexing up towards the ceiling. Drawing up through the spine, shoulders relaxing. Make sure the head is free again. And in breath, arms floating up. Now letting the spine float forwards. And your hands will come to rest on the feet, on the legs. Even on the floor, that feels more comfortable. And we'll put a little bit of bend through the elbows, out to either side. And then breathing in, we'll stretch out into the spine in that circle of the arms. And soften the gaze there, almost like you're drawing the eyes back into the back of the skull. And then out breath, eyes can close, or keeping that soft gaze and bowing the head inwards and towards the chest. Let your body breathe freely here. Nice soft breaths. Keep allowing yourself to relax into the shape of the body. To relax into and through any pockets of tension rising up. A few more rounds of breath. Then breathing in, we'll slide the hands up along the legs. taking you back and into sitting. And then bending the knees and coming down onto the spine and planting your feet hips width together, knees to ceiling. And as you breathe in, the arms will float up and over the head and will lift the pelvis up off the mat into an easy bridge. So there's a sense of your spine almost hanging like it's in a hammock, suspended in the air. Anchor your heels again down to the mat. Then starting to lower the pelvis back down again. And pelvis arriving on the mat, we hug the knees into the chest now. And once here, feet coming to the mat, and we'll stretch the legs out in turn. You can take the big toe pads towards one another then, just allowing them to touch for a moment, and then you can turn them away from each other. That will open up the feet. Have the hands at the sides of the body and your palms facing up there. You can shrug your shoulders down. Fill the space your spine is resting in. Feeling your head connected to your mat and to the earth. Letting its weight rest on the earth. Held by the body. Deep in-breath. And then putting down any weight of carrying, body or mind. And letting the earth receive its weight. A few moments of rest. If you want to stay a bit longer in your Shavasana, then do feel free to do so. But if you need to move on with your day, and starting to bring some movement into your body. And when you're ready to move, we bend the knees And you're rolling over and onto the right hand side of the body. And finding your way from there up and into sitting again. Arriving in another comfortable seat and hands resting down on the lap. And your eyes shutting. And with your eyes shut, we'll lift the shoulders up towards ears. And as you breathe in, just a momentary pause here. Breathing out, eyes still shut, feeling the weight of the shoulders relaxing down. Allowing your spine to lift up and through that weight. Feeling the sky all around you, holding the body. Feeling roots with earth. And guiding your hands up to the heart into prayer. And here, bowing the head down to the heart. Moment to feel, to rest in and connect to the heart's energy. And a breath of gratitude to your body. And then gaze lifting again, opening eyes and closing your practice. Thank you.